man. What the hell is going on? What the fuck? Okay, that worked. What the hell's going on? Hey, anybody have any idea what's going on with the YouTube streaming software? I can't edit anything. Like normally I could change the title, description, thumbnail, and it won't let me do it. It has all the information from the last stream. And if I go to manage, I can change these things one at a time in a convoluted way. But it's like it's stuck. It's really weird and annoying. It's like there's no way to start a brand new stream. It just incorporates everything from the old one. I assume the audio's coming in okay? Looks like it is. Be nice. And there's bullying Null again. It's like, stop being a bully. Yeah, I got all new equipment. I don't have a new UPS yet, but I have a new router and a new modem. I got that all connected this past weekend. Yeah, it's weird. Normally these boxes are just available. I can just edit them, but now it's almost like it's attempting to resume an existing stream, but it is actually starting a new one. And it doesn't give me I have to go to this manage section and I can right click and edit certain things, but really convoluted way of doing it. Very annoying. It's all the cat's fault. Hi. They haven't seen you in forever. Yeah. Yeah, just nosy. Yeah. He's a good boy. He is. Go ahead. They haven't seen you in a long time. Okay. So I've been wanting to work on that new rocket. Is it this one? I'm so impressed with how strong that tube is. And now I want to design an entire model around it. Okay, that's the triangle one, so that's not the one we want. It's got to be one of these. Oh, you managed to get on top of the freezer, huh? You know, if you jump into that ceiling fan, it's going to really hurt. Just so you know. There it is. You should print out some stilts. Stilts? You have any idea how much plastic it would take to make a pair of stilts that'll hold my fat ass? That would be a very heavy duty pair of stilts. Get it, baby, get it. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta print out some new pipe for under the kitchen sink. Let's see if anything's available first. Yeah, whatever. Uh-oh. That doesn't want to load. And that's the one right there I need to load. I probably have too many models in one environment, one workspace. That's not good. Go full screen, hide a little bit of that stuff. I should bring that up, yeah. Let's pop out the chat. Actually, I should be able to bring the chat up on the phone. Although that is not always reliable.
Introducing Domino's New York style pizza. Order a large
Really?
with 3 toppings for $10.99.
Ads, of course, right away. I don't even get credit because it's my own ads. There we go. Let's do a search for P-Trap. That didn't work. Sync. Nope. See, some of this simpler stuff I might have to go to Thingiverse to find. Since people might not have thought of putting it on printables yet, because printables are still new. wonder if you could print the entire faucet. That'd be fun to try. Really? You're gonna bug me. Yeah, we're gonna fix that right away. Goodbye. Let's check Thingiverse. Whatever. That's pretty. Aw, little Nigeri. I should print this. This is kind of cool. Basically, the leaves stick into the tree trunk, and you pull a leaf off, and it's a coaster. That's actually a pretty cool print. Let's do a search for. First, let's do the P-trap. I think that's what it's called. I guess not. Am I calling it the wrong name? Yeah, it's fine. There's no way nobody's thought to print this. I mean, what's the likelihood that no one has made models of this? It's got to be 0. There we go. Yeah, it's a P-trap. I knew I wasn't crazy. Maybe I need the dash? That's not working. Let's try. Westphalia P-trap replacement. Okay. Nope. That's a very specific component. I find it hard to believe that there's simply nothing available. That can't be right. Here's a sink drain slip nut. Pop-up drain cap. Is 1.5 inch the standard size? Is that what's under my sink right now? That seems too small. It is 1.5 inch. Is that really all it is? Yeah, there's all the parts right there. Almost. This home was Made in either the late 80s or early 90s. So I'm assuming that would still be 1.5 inch. Okay. Now, is that just this piece here? Hey, Big and Bad. So it looks like he just printed this piece here so that he could have his dishwasher drain. So this is the drain coming from the dishwasher. Looks like that's a print in place. So that's the threaded bit. What is this? Oh, that's his custom support, which I don't need. But how does this attach? You see, mine looks just like this. There's no threads on the bottom. I thought it broke. But is this supposed to be a compression fitting? Like, does it go inside the other pipe and then when you tighten it, it compresses onto it? Let's grab that. It is compression, so they're not all just threaded. Oh. So mine just popped off. How about we do 1.5 pipe. Hey, Zero. No. That's sort of it. That would be for like PVC glue. Yeah, I noticed that there's threads. When we did plumbing in was it high school or no? It was middle school. It was copper and welding. It wasn't soldering. It wasn't plastic. That looks like gas line. I could just print it out of TPU and use zip ties. I got these badass zip ties. You know, these are real thick zip ties. That'll do it. Or just a hose clamp. What did I just search for plumbing? And once I have the ends, I can just make whatever pipe I want and just put the two ends on it. That's not helping. Well, there's something. There's an adapter. Yeah, O-ring gasket like that. One thing I was thinking of is is to have the pipes just mate together flush like this, and then have a flat flange on each pipe, and that flange would print on the bed so it's perfectly smooth. And then those two flanges would simply mate like this, and then I would have two compression clamps on each side that would just and hold those two pieces together and keep it from leaking. So you would just put the two pipes together and then cinch the, how do I describe that? I guess I can draw it. Hey, that printed. Let me grab this and get it into a new workspace before it crashes on me again. Let's go, new design. I was afraid that might not load. That would suck. So there's my part. So the idea would be you would do something like this. There we go. So increase the sides, increase the sides, join, and then Control D, do that, and do that. Let's change the color of one of them so that's a little bit different. And then Control D. Might as well just try to do it and see how well it works. Should be as simple as, let's see, 20 by 20, 10 by 20. So I should be able to align these like this, just like that, and then scale this up. Nope, I don't want to do that. Can I scale it from any of these pulls? Yes, I can. Very nice. This way I keep that center line. Very nice. Now I turn this into a hole and merge it with this. There we go. And then I can easily get rid of this little bit in the middle here. There. And I take this, Control D, and do a rotate 180. And bring it down this way. And then join these two halves together. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was. My bad. There we go. So now, let's make this hollow, just so we can see what we're looking at. So now, what I would do is I would make the pipe like this. It would just have a flange on each end. That flange would print flat on the bed, which would make that part nice and flush and flat. And then this piece here would simply fit over top of it like that. And that would squish those two parts together. And for strength, you can just print this as thick as you want. You can make this part here come up all the way up to here, like an inch thick if you need it to be. It's not going to take much plastic. And now you'd be able to, I can even duplicate this, Control D, join it with this one, rotate it 180. Nope, that didn't work. That's right, I need a master ring. So, this, rotate it on this, take this. Did you get it, baby? Did you get it? Good boy. There. So now you'd have a two-piece unit like this. And that would hold those two pieces together. And you can either put a zip tie around this, hose clamp around this, piece of string around it. You can put two screw holes into it. But the point is that this would compress these two pieces together. And because it's a sink drain, you should be able to get away without using any kind of sealing or washers. The only time this would ever leak is if water got trapped in here. Because otherwise the water would just flow past this. I mean, the only place water is going to stay in a sink drain is in the P-trap itself. So right here, this bottom part of the trap right there, that's the only place water is ever going to sit. So as long as all these fitting points are above this water line, then it will never leak. Now, of course, if you back up the drain, then there's a chance it might leak. But again, if you print that smoothly enough, those two surfaces should mate together pretty damn well. And then just make it almost zero tolerance, like a 0.1 tolerance. And that should be enough to just hold those two pieces together. If this was a pressurized water pipe, I would agree with you, JPN. But it's not. It's a drain. It's open air. So again, as long as now, like I said, if you back up this drain and water sits there at that joint, then yes, there's a possibility it might. Hang on a second. This is the hospital. Hello. Yes. Michelle Taylor, May 1st, 73. Still no list. I don't know. Let me check. Just double check. Make sure it didn't come through silently. Oh, it's not coming from your number, is it? Ah, okay, hang on. That might be this. I got something from Curaspan that I assume was just spam, but it might be from you. Hang on. Yeah, list of facilities. Okay, this is from you. Hang on. Okay, I mean, what? I mean, it's just giving me an address and then a phone number and stuff for each of these. What should I be looking at? Okay. Well, most of them have a pretty bad CMS rating, whatever that means. Except for Genesis Canyon and Genesis Center of Albuquerque. Okay, Spanish Trails doesn't even have a rating. Do you think Spanish Trails is good? Okay. Not allowed to create bias. All right. Well, if I can't get advice from you, how do I get advice? Oh boy. Yeah. Cabazon? What's that one? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that one's got a 1-star rating. Any feedback from people that have gone to Spanish Trails that you've heard? Okay. What do these ratings mean? Okay. So are we talking about effectiveness or whether they did things they weren't supposed to do? Or, I mean, well, what are we talking about here? Yeah. Of course, you're going to get squeaky wheels make noise. I'm not really worried about, whether they're sharing a room or whether the food is great as long as it's healthy and edible. I just worried about, them fixing her. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. No friendliness problems. Okay. My concern is, mental abuse, which I'm hoping would not be an issue. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, no, she would never be mean to anybody. I'm worried about staff being mean to her. She's a teddy bear. She would never be mean to anybody. Oh, well, I'll just eat them. You were mean to my sister. Your dinner tonight. um. So I know you can't give me direct advice, but Google is not going to be that useful. Even I know enough to know it's not going to be that useful. Um, what criteria, if you were sending a family member there, you can't tell me which one you would pick, but what criteria would you use to help you make your selection? That's important. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And the Spanish Trails doesn't share a room. Okay. And is that one of the ones that approved her? Okay. All right. I'll talk to her. I'll let her pick. I think she would probably like to have her own room, so she would probably pick that. Okay. You got it. Bye. Hang on a second. I'll explain this in a second. Yeah, but in my climate, the amount of water that would come through just passing through the joint would be minimal. Basically, I wouldn't worry about it. Um, Now, if the sink backed up, then yes, it might drip. But otherwise, I'm not too worried about leaking. Hey, hey, for the rehab center, is having your own room important to you? Okay, then we'll do the Spanish Trails one. They have individual rooms. Okay. Oh well, yeah. A lot of them it's shared rooms. You know, two people per room. But Spanish Trails, it's individual rooms, and she thought you might prefer that. So, figured to ask you, see what you think, and you'd prefer to have your own room. Okay. So if they ask you prefer Spanish Trails, and I'm going to tell her the same thing. Okay. They're going to. I think they're going to move you today. Yes. So either today or tomorrow. She said you're ready to go. So okay. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. All right. So if they ask, we'll do Spanish Trails. So if it comes up, we'll do Spanish Trails. That's the rehab center. The name of the place. It's called Spanish Trails. I know. Just when she comes up and yes, you want to go to Spanish Trails? That's a yes. We're going to do Spanish Trails. All right. Bye. Hi, this is Chris with Michelle Taylor. Hi, she said she wants the place with her own room, the Spanish Trails. Okay, do you need me to pick it on that list or is this good enough? Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Yeah, that print came out pretty cool. The you saw about the thumbnail where I put the NAR logo into the print itself. So the past 2 weeks have been interesting. um, it's almost like someone took a live wire to the universe, and the universe had a an epileptic attack, and said, "Hey, Chris, screw you." So everything I'm about to describe happened in how many days? Less than 2 weeks, because 2 weeks would be this Saturday. And all of this happened between not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday and Monday. So all of this happened in, what was that, eight? All this happened in 10 days. Okay? So first, Tom, my roommate at Narram, breaks his elbow. We don't know this yet, but he had to go to the hospital 2 o'clock in the morning. Keep in mind, we have to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning to drive to Denver to make his flight back to Illinois. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he wakes me up and says, I gotta go to the hospital. I can't go to sleep. It hurts too bad. This guy's like 80 years old or something like that. And he's like a tank. If he says it hurts, it hurts. Because he doesn't complain unless it's bad. And so we go to the hospital, and thankfully it's in Pueblo, so it's empty. Like there's literally nobody there. They admit him the moment he gets in there, so no wait time. And they do X-rays and MRI and whatever else they do, and they find out he broke a bone in his elbow somehow. And they give him some morphine, and they put a splint on it, and that helps. And he's able to make his flight. Apparently, just the morphine and the splinting it was enough. It was him moving it around that made it so painful. Now that he's not moving it around, it didn't hurt so much. Keep in mind, this guy had to figure out how to get his luggage into his apartment using a walker on bad hips and knees and only one arm. I was like, tip your cabbie really well, buddy, because you're going to need help. And then I have to drive to Denver, drop him off. I get home, everything seems to be working. That's first, okay? And turns out that the lightning storm that occurred fried the UPS, fried the modem, and fried the router. So whatever surge came through that UPS was strong enough to bypass the 4 millisecond response time of the UPS and fry both the router and the modem. So I had to, not pay my water bill because I needed to order a new modem and a new router. And those, of course, take a week to come in because, the prime price was 3 times the price. And I'm ordering, open box items to keep the price down. I got a modem for like $40, and I got a router for like $36. And, it doesn't replace the very nice $500 worth of equipment I had before then. But hey, beggars and choosers, right? Just take what I can get. So, I get the modem in. The first thing I do is I try to plug the new power supply into the old modem. Yeah, that modem's fried. It's juiced. So I get the new modem going, and I'm hoping I don't have to call Comcast. Thankfully, I had to walk out into the street, connect my phone to the Xfinity Wi-Fi connection around the corner at the senior center, and I'm able to activate the new modem on the phone. And a couple days later, the router comes in. That's why there's no live stream last week. It took 4 hours to upload that video I did upload. It took 4 hours to upload that video. But so that takes care of that. The UPS is dead. I got to replace the UPS, which I can't afford to do right now. So I pray there's no more thunderstorms like that between now and the time I can get into the UPS. Although the UPS didn't save me the first time. I open up the fridge. Yeah, all that food's bad. When I had Michelle flipping breakers, turning everything back on again because it popped every GFI out in the house. She had to go around to all the GFI outlets and push all the buttons on the GFI outlets to turn everything back on because it wasn't the breakers. And so I guess the outlets did their job, but she missed one breaker, turning a breaker back on again. And of course, it was the breaker to the refrigerator. So refrigerator's fine, but all the food in it is bad. About the only thing not bad was a bottle of ketchup. That's probably fine. Ketchup doesn't really need to be refrigerated like that. So a couple days, slightly warm ketchup will be fine. Everything else, can't trust. I mean, I'm not going to risk us, a hospital run for a $3 bottle of salad dressing. I'm just not. So everything else is trash. And so that's 2, okay? So you got the router and well, that's 3 because you got the broken elbow, then you got the the electrically fried network equipment, and then you got the bad food, and then for the 3rd time since moving here, all right, the first time that's one of the reasons why I'm in this room and not at my lab bench is because the outlet on that wall is bad, and I smelled it starting to do things it shouldn't do, so that breaker's off until I can afford to rerun that entire wire because I don't trust it now. That tried to kill me. Then a couple years ago, the battery UPS that I had underneath the lab bench tried to murder me. I go out into the living room and it's filled with smoke. You can see the video of it burning out in my front yard. I grab the battery box while it's launching, mortar rounds of 18650 cells. They're actually popping out of the box violently, and flames this large. Where's my other hand? Flames that large coming out of this box as I'm holding it in my hands, yanking wires out of it, and I open the front door and chuck it out into the front yard as it's blowing up. Like literally, batteries are detonating, and I just keep covering it with sand so it doesn't make a fire because you can't put water on a lithium fire. That's not going to work. It'll just make it more violent. If you want a good show, go ahead, spray water on it. Um, and that's the second time something tried to murder me in this house and my family. And now the water heater catches on fire. And I don't just mean, smoking catching on fire. I'm talking, I'm sitting here in bed. If it happened 2 hours later, I'd be screwed because I don't know if I'd wake up in time. And Michelle definitely could not get out of the house in time, depending on how bad the fire was. But I hear electrical arcing. I mean, not just sparking and sputtering and flames and smoke. I hear a as the kitchen lights up blue and yellow. The nice pretty colors that an electrical arc forms. And I go, what the fuck? I go running out into the kitchen and smoke is billowing out from underneath the kitchen sink. The water heater was arcing and catching on fire. Thankfully, there was a leak earlier, and that wet everything under there, so it might not have started on fire. I took the pot of water from the distiller and splashed it to put out what was burning. It got hot enough that it cracked my Pyrex that was stacked up underneath. That's where I store my Pyrex underneath the sink there. I have a whole bunch of nice little Pyrex, for leftovers and stuff. And thankfully, it didn't get my Lilo and Stitch Pyrex. It got the Minnie Mouse Pyrex. Yuck. But I inhale smoke as I'm crawling underneath the sink to unplug the goddamn water heater because it's for some reason it's not popping the breaker or the GFI. It's just sitting there arcing, making tons of smoke. And I actually end up having to I set up an air filter to take care of the smoke, which worked great by the way, but my lungs were so bad from inhaling that poisonous crap from that vinyl wire going up that I have to actually go out and sleep in the car because I can't breathe. Like I really can't. It was really bad. I coughed so much that I thought I injured myself because a day later these muscles on my abdomen were so painful. I'd never felt pain there before like that, but I looked it up and apparently that's perfectly normal. Those muscles aren't used to being used so extensively when you cough like that, and so it's normal for the next day for those to really hurt really bad. And then so now I have no hot water at the sink. The sink drain's broken. The Pyrex is broken. It arced and caught itself on fire. And I inhaled smoke taking care of that. Then Michelle nearly dies. Like, no joke. Death was rolling over her. Something happened where I should have realized something was happening sooner because she had stopped taking care of the cats. Had I gotten stuck in Pueblo with his, because we were going to stay there until the hospital released him, but thankfully he got released in time for us to make his flight. But had I gotten stuck there in Pueblo, I probably would have come home to 2 dead cats because they hadn't had water in 4 days. And so 2 more days would have been 6 days without water. That would have not been good. Surviving without food is one thing. Surviving without water is another thing, especially when you're only a 12-pound animal. But Michelle, it took me 6+ hours to get her to get up out of bed and come out and eat something. And she couldn't eat something, so I gave her sugar water. I quickly realized that I hadn't cooked her anything in the last several days, and I don't remember her cooking anything in the last several days. So I don't think she's eaten for 3 days. And so she was like literally starving herself to death, but unintentionally. Something was wrong with her that was preventing her from staying awake. Like she would fall asleep while I'm looking at her, and I'd go Michelle, and she'd wake up and look at me, and then literally 5 seconds later she's out again, and we get a doctor's appointment. I should have taken her to the hospital immediately, but I didn't recognize the signs as being as bad as they were. She tended to be very sleepy lately. Her hemoglobin count was down to 3. They wanted above 7. I don't know what that metric or scale is, but as soon as the doctor saw her, he said, "We need to call an ambulance." And that's when I got worried. Because apparently she was basically running out of blood. She had no hemoglobin left because of a massive iron deficiency. And apparently it's from heavy menstruation. And that caused her to get really, really sleepy. And because she was really, really sleepy, she basically just stopped doing anything. She stopped eating. She stopped drinking. I mean, because she couldn't stay awake. I had to force her awake and force her to drink sugar water. And, because I assumed her blood sugar was really low. And, so she's in the hospital now. They're going to be moving her to a physical rehabilitation center today. So she literally almost died. And then we're not done yet. No, there's more. 2 days ago, at McDonald's, getting my iced coffee, down to see her at the hospital, and this guy backs into me in the McDonald's drive-thru. It's like he just starts reversing, and he's not going fast. He's just creeping backwards, but he won't stop. And I can't back up because there's someone behind me. And of course, he's got one of those fucking big triple ball hitch things on the back, goes right through my fog light and bumper and tears a hole out of the bumper. Of course, he's Chinese, doesn't speak English, and has no insurance. Yay! It's like, I mean, all that in 10 days. I woke up, looked at the universe, and said, fuck you, man. At least it didn't kill me. I mean, that's good news, right? Oh, man. It's like, how can so much happen in such a tiny period of time? It's like, I mean, with the exception of Michelle being sick and the fire, I guess both of those are pretty serious things. But nothing was instantly life-threatening. But Jesus. It's like, come on. At this point, I don't even want good things to happen. I want nothing to happen. I want several days of nothing, where nothing dramatic at all, good or bad, happens. Just nothing. I just want a little bit of nothing. What are you gonna do? But yeah, that's been my 10 days. How's your 10 days been? Oh boy. Yeah, apparently PVC vinyl is really nasty shit when it burns. Like downright nasty. Yes, she's obese. Yeah, that's what the doctor said. That if she was a normal body mass, she'd probably be dead. I didn't know. I didn't know being pale like that was so dangerous. Now I know I need to start paying attention to what she's doing more. She's at her end of the house, I'm at my end of the house, and I leave her alone and let her do what she does. And I guess I can't do that. I guess I have to be more proactive, more involved. Um, and well, and my only concern is that they have no definitive cause. Michelle's like, I'm anemic now. I was like, no, you're not anemic now. That's not how that works, Michelle. Being anemic is a consequence. It's a result of some other underlying cause. I was like, and that's what they have to figure out. They have to figure out what the underlying cause is. And but I'd never seen somebody so white before, so absolutely pale. That's what made me like. I was like, you better call the doctor. This doesn't look right. And she would walk 30 feet and she'd be stuttering in her breath and not even realize it. But the good news is they're putting her in outpatient rehabilitation. No, not outpatient, like where she stays at a rehab center for like a week or two to hopefully rebuild her strength back up so she can actually walk around. And then the trick will be to keep her doing it. because obviously she's childlike in a way. So if something hurts, her solution is to just stop doing it. That hurts. Okay, I won't do that. Okay, but as adults, we know you can't do that. You have to push through the pain and do what hurts. Otherwise, it just gets worse. But with her childlike mentality, that's just not how she thinks. In her thinking, ouch, hurts, don't do. Just don't do that. And that's just going to make it worse. So they're the lady at the hospital is looking into some what is it called? Behavioral health therapy. For me to go get a bit of training on that. Um, I mean, apparently I'm gonna have to be more parent than brother, which I don't know how to do. I'm not a parent. Um, but because of her mental condition, I have to be a bit more parent than brother, and I don't know how to do that without. My concern is I have to use force, not force, but Michelle, get up and do this now. There's no argument. That kind of force, lay down law and say this is what has to be done. But my concern is that I suspect the line between forceful, doing what needs to be done, and mental abuse is very thin. I suspect that it would be very easy to accidentally cross over that line, and I don't want to do that. So she's going to look into seeing if she can get me some help in that regard to where I can learn the right and the wrong way to do things and how to avoid crossing that line over to mental abuse. It'd be unintentional, but that wouldn't matter. The damage would occur whether I intended or not. So I need to learn how to interact with her in such a way to not be abusive. If it was my brother, it'd be easy. Just punch him in the side of the head. You can't exactly do that with Michelle. But it's been a hell of a 10 days. That's for sure. It's been interesting. What are you gonna do? Oh, and I got a roof leak. Yay! And a bad one. It's a pretty bad roof leak. Where the guy fixed the hole for the fucking swamp cooler. I'll check that out. I mean, lifting her is problematic. I mean, the most I could do is help her lift herself. I mean, she's 340 pounds. I can't lift 340 pounds. I just can't. I can't pick up that much mass. So, especially without hurting her. The best I could do is put something near her, like a chair, that she can grab onto and climb up. And that's why I'm always terrified leaving her alone. I'm afraid she's going to fall and then be stuck that way until somebody finds her. I mean, ouch. Especially because if she falls, she has a limited amount of time to get up. Because when you're this heavy and you're sitting on the ground, especially if you're not in a controlled position, you cut off circulation and your limbs start to go numb. And then you get to the point where you can't get up. And that's when it gets dangerous. There's been a couple of times where I fell asleep on the toilet and my legs went to sleep and I couldn't get up off the toilet. Like literally, I couldn't get up. I was stuck there. I had to rock this way and lift that cheek and let blood go back in, and go this way, let blood go back in, and keep doing that until enough sensation returned that I could stand up. Okay. Well, remember, picking her up would be a lot easier if I was 158 pounds. I'm 470 pounds. So now I have to balance and stabilize my own 470 pounds while also trying to pick up her 340 pounds. This would actually be easier if I was only 200 pounds. It'd be a lot easier. I would just be able to put my arms underneath her arms and pick her up. It'd be no big deal. But I can I can lift 300 pounds, but I have to include my 300 pounds in that 300-pound limit. And so now I'm trying to essentially lift 600 pounds, and that I can't do. Not deadlift, at least. So yes, I need some to create leverage in a way, and that's what we do. I'll bring a chair over to her, and then she knows how to get up using a chair. So she'll grab onto it and work her way up. And but CNA. Let me write that down. No pen, so I'll put it in the computer. Why isn't this working? There it goes. CNA YouTube. Okay. There we go. I'll save that and research that later. Oh, interesting times. Let's get back to the model work. A Gates belt. Do you have more words to describe what a Gates belt is? Because I'm coming up with Gates, which is a company that makes belts for cars, engine belts. So do you have any more words I can use to find this Gates belt? Yeah, this is all car parts. Gates belts. Oh, transfer and walking assistance. Oh, this is something I put on her, not something I wear. Okay. Will this help with off the floor? Hi, baby. Transfer belt. Gate. Gait. Okay. And not that expensive either. They're surprisingly affordable. Usually what happens is she'll misjudge a step and she'll try to twist, she'll try to turn in place, and she'll trip over her own feet. And once she starts to go down, that's it. There's nothing to stop her from continuing unless she's next to something she can fall against. She's so upset because she destroyed the drawers in our island, and I was like, "What are you gonna do, Michelle? Teleport out of the way?" There's nothing you can do about it, because she that's what happened. She was in the kitchen. She did a pivot in place, and her legs got twisted underneath her, And when that happened, she couldn't pull the foot out in time, and down she went. Thankfully, she didn't get hurt. I also make it a point to as long as she's not hurt. She's only fallen like 3 times in 5 years. She's pretty good about not falling. I make it a point to she's had a couple of like half falls, like 4 or 5 times, where she'd be bent over or kneeled over, and then she would end up sitting on the floor, and she couldn't get back up easily. Not really a fall so much as a collapse. And I make it a point that I won't help her get up. I'll stand there, I'll watch her, I'll make sure nothing happens, but it's like, you got to get up on your own. Because my concern is when I'm not here, she needs to be able to get up on her own. So we look at that as a practice kind of thing where I'm there to watch, I'm there to help if needed, but otherwise, figure it out, work the problem, see what tools are around you, and usually she does it. Usually it involves getting to a chair, and once she gets to a chair, something sturdy that she can grip onto, then she just works her way up. She usually gets her chest up on the chair, gets her legs underneath her, and then once her legs are underneath her, she's able to push up off the chair and stand up. And so we've been doing that where, she gets annoyed because I won't help her. And I was like, Michelle, if I'm 400 miles away at some event, what are you going to do? I'm not going to be there to help you. I was like, so you got to be able to do it on your own. And, all right. Thank you very much for the links, too. Yeah, that belt's only $18. I can grab one of those. And so that seems like a good idea to make it easy to help her get up. But let's go back to fun stuff and not this annoying stuff. I'll be looking at those CNA courses too. Let's switch back to this, and back to this. But that's one idea for how to I might be able to possibly just make my own pipes and fittings and stuff. But let's get back to the rocket. I want to do something with this today. This was so incredibly strong that for now I'm going to make 400 millimeter tall components. And so 3 of them will give you a 1.2 meter airframe, and 1.6 meters with the nose cone, because that'll also be 400 millimeters. But eventually I want to be able to print a 1 meter long airframe component. So eventually I want to build a printer with a 1 meter build volume so that I can, 1 meter tall, not 1 meter cubed. Yeah, I only wish. Okay. So there is the airframe. And what I need is an extension to come off the outside. I need a way of adding the inserts to be able to install a fin unit. But I want to make it modular. It could be as simple as scaling up. Let's call this strong rocket. I want to be able to put like a 29, a 38, or even a 54 millimeter motor in this thing and just blast it to hell and have it be strong enough. Let me bring up the chat in here. There we go. It doesn't always update properly, but I can stay full screen here. Let's bring up the MRS rockets. I think I need to do this. I really wish Tinkercad would let me group workspaces together, like to create like a folder or a workspace group and put a bunch of different projects in that group. See, what happens is, if I open this one right now, if I click Tinker this, it moves this over to here to the first spot. And that could really make it annoying trying to find things because they start moving around. And like right now, these are all grouped together, which I want. They're all near each other. But if I start opening up other things, these are going to start getting split apart unless I then go back in and open them to keep them grouped together. And there's no easy way to do that. What I need to do is I need to find the MRS rocket. And see how much of that design I can incorporate. That worked really well. And this is all the new rockets, which I do need to finish working on. Chips rocket, 80 millimeters. That's the Starlight. Aquarius. These are all my threaded rockets. That's the 3-inch. There's some motor mounts, which I will soon need, because I do want to make this one modular. Neat. And I'm pretty sure I did rename it MRS. MRS nose cone. Here we go. What I need is the fin unit. Is it this? Yes, this is it. Okay. .7. Where is the insert? Is that the insert? 7.4. There it is. Okay, so there's my cutout. So I need this. I need this. I need this. And I need one of these. So let's copy this. Let's go back to Strong Rocket. And paste. The way I did it right now is I have this design. Now if I scale that up, I think that might work. Okay, there's the chamfer right there. Okay. Here's a standard fin. Let's get this in the same orientation. Rotate you 90 degrees. The idea is to scale this so that they both stay the same scale relative to each other. Okay, that looks about right. Let's make this a whole bunch longer. Bring it down to 0. Make it 233 tall. Hey, iCash. Okay, that's way too big. Okay. Yep, that is way too big. How big is this? 200. Excuse me. Why does it do that? It goes away on me. There we go. Well, actually, it's not too far off. If I go every other for these, or just get rid of them where I need them gone. I could even have this come all the way in and touch this. That's an interesting idea. So let's get these close together. It's still way too big. I can make the fin bigger, but I need this to be smaller. That is wrong. That's 200. Oh, it's subsurface. Okay. How does that look? That's much better. Much, much better. Okay. That is something I could use. So now we have the right scale. I need to separate this. Can I simply scale it? Yeah, I think I can. So if I simply make this taller, and then I can take this and simply make it bigger. Yeah. That'll give me a basic fin to start with. And then we can Control D this. And there's for making another fin. And join that back together. Okay. The scaling is a little off. I'll have to fix that. Actually, let's fix that now. Because of the scaling, you can see the angle here is off. It doesn't match up with this anymore. That's easy to fix. Just delete this and apply another block here. Just like that. And there you go. Now it's got the proper angle. Join. There. So that is a viable fin that I could use. So how are you doing, Akash? So now we need to work on this. And let's rotate this 90. This puts the yin yang over here and a single yang over here. And no, that's not what I want. No, I guess it's okay. I really want this part here. So this does need to be scaled a little bit more. It's still too big. So that means I need to take all three of these and scale this down a bit. Bring it to 0, and then join it, align it with this. That's more like it. That's what I want. Okay, that is good. Now I need to add to this. Oh, that actually should be as simple as leaving this right here and then just connecting them. Can I do that? This is probably long enough for a good bond, although this would be better. How do I want to do this? Size is good. How do I want to do this? I mean, ideally, I want it to touch. I want this to just touch here so it fuses with this. But I'd rather both of these shapes interact. Let's go 1/4 millimeter. Ooh, almost too much. That looks pretty good. Am I missing any chat? Nope. How do I want to join that? You guys can see this, right? Yes. How do I make that? Basically, I want this to go like this and come back out around here. think I need to take apart this. So let's disassemble this. And that worked. They are individual. So if I hide this, and I hide this, I should also be able to hide this and hide this. And then I can delete the rest of them. Bring everything back. There we go. So there's my yin, my yang. This gets replicated around. Okay. I keep those. Let's do this. There's what I want. So Control D, rejoin you with that. And now I have a hole. Okay, now how do I resize this hole to give me the right connection with the inside wall? It needs to be It needs to be 0.8 millimeters, 0.75 millimeters on both sides, which is 1.5. Is it as simple as that? Yes, so it's 1.5 millimeters larger. So if I take this and make it 61.5 by 61.5, and then I recenter it. Not what I asked you to do. Recenter, recenter. Okay, now that is my cut tool. Yep, you can see how that's the cut tool there that made this cut. So that is my cut tool. I have to design an interface to interface with this now. Let's make this 200.1. Now I can see it. I think I need to add a square. Go away. Okay. So we need an overlap. Probably something like this. Okay. Take this, align on this, center. Okay. $200. So it's partially visible. Okay. Now we take a cylinder. 200.1. We shrink you down. Increase the number of sides. Bring you in. Okay. That's what I want. And we're going to cut a hole. Let's go 1 millimeter. Let's go 1.1. That looks pretty good. Okay, that is way too big. This is going to come in here. Let's change the color. something more vibrant. So we're probably looking at something like that. There's the line. Let's go 5. Nope. Yeah, 4. Okay, 1.2. There we go. Now we're getting a pinch. Ow. Is that enough though? Now we take this. We set this to off. We start bringing this in. Why'd you let it go? That's something more like that. One 1.3. 1.35. Okay, that's looking pretty good. How do I center that now? I guess I Control D it. I bring it over here like this. I join them together. I center it on this, like that. Bring you in, something like this. I center this one, like that. Okay. Now all of these need to be centered on this. Okay. Okay. 200.1, 200.1, 200.1. So I need to make this a hollow. I take this and join it with this. And I need to cut this. And then also cut this. There. I would really like this to be wider. In fact, I think that angle right there is going to be a problem. Why didn't that line up right there? Because it's not even. So I have the idea, but I need that base to be a whole lot wider. Well, I could duplicate this. That's not what I wanted. I had way too much selected. There we go. I could Control D this. And I could bring it in like this. Let's change the color to this. 5.53. Okay. this and shrink it down. And separate them. Four, let's make it 8. That's a little better. 8. Let's make it 1.2. 1.15. That's better. Join them back together again. Make it hollow. Let's try that. So take the, you asshole. Take the red, the blue, and the gray and join them. Let's center that. Yeah, that didn't look centered. Alright, join. Uh-oh. Why would that have trouble joining? There we go. Then join this. Then join this. That's a much bigger footprint. There we go. That'll also give us some flexibility. That's basically going to be a solid line, which should be okay. Okay. I can turn that into a hole. So if I take that, I Control D, join. Now 120, and then Control D again. There's my 3 fins. Okay. Now I take this, Control D, like this, rotate 1 click. Control D. Now I just delete the overlap. No. I do need the yin yang. So I need to take this and decouple it from this. There we go. This way I still have my yin yang. Wait a minute, this isn't sealed. This doesn't require yin yang, it's not sealed. Okay, it gets it from the outside. Okay. Ooh, see, that's something I wasn't anticipating. These overlapping here. I might be able to rotate it out of harm's way. Okay. So I got rid of the overlaps. Now if I move closer, this one's going to hit it. I I know what I need to do. I just don't know how to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 4 on each. So what I need to do is I need to delete these. I need to make this a set. How do I do it though? I think I know how. I need to spread them out a little bit more. No. One of them has to have that. So I need to delete these. How do I do this? I think I need to... So let's take this and this. And I should be able to bring this to center. Yes. Okay, so I need to center it on this. So if I want to space evenly in between a 120 spread, what's the math to do that? I want to put 4 of these evenly spaced in between here. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I need to take 120 divided by 5 is 24 degrees. So I take this, I control, and this, I control D, join with this, and I rotate 24 degrees. Then D, D, D. Yes, perfect. Okay, that means I can now delete this one. And that means I can delete these extra little wings. Actually, that means I can also get rid of this. Yeah, I don't need this. I can hide this inside one of the outstretchings. Yeah, I can hide that right there. Now there'll be no external seam. Yay! It'll be a clean rocket. Let's see. Now I take these and I group them. Control D with this 120 and D. There. Now they are evenly spaced. Sweet. Let's hide one of these. Get rid of all the extra rings. Bring it back. Clean up my workspace. I don't need this anymore. Clean up the workspace. Okay. Okay. Shit, I think it works. Let's hide you. Now let's watch Tinkercad puke on itself as it tries to merge all this together. Oh, not bad. Not bad. This will allow a little bit of flexibility, but not so much flexibility that the fin can pop out too easily. And then this will also make sure that this space is fused with the inner wall, and the inner wall is double thick at that location, so that if the fin hits the ground, it'll flex but not break. At least that's the theory. All right, these are my links inside the spaces. This is my link between the inside and the outside. It's manifold and it's vase mode compliant. That should be enough. Yeah. Okay. That should do it. Okay. Now this line with this piece that way. Not what I want you to do. That should be like that. Yeah, that should work. That will stop right there. This, I know people love those fins coming out the rear end, even though it's not ideal. People still love it. Okay. Let's do a disassemble. Make this a little bit bigger. That looks about right. Need to get rid of this again. Need to put a new block on. There we go. Now we take this, 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 and this. Join it. I'll have to print some of these and see how strong it actually is. Okay. I guess there's no way to place the fin on the surface, is there? There's no way to do that in Tinkercad, is there? Like, is there no way for me to tell it to put this flat edge on the bed? Is there really no way to do that? What's this? Cruise? I don't think so. No, I can't rotate it. What I need is to get it about flat, like that. But I don't know how to exactly do that. I don't think you can. I think I have to export this. And then bring it into, like, Simplify. Uh-oh. It doesn't want to load my download space again. That happens every now and then. I have no idea what to do about it. Where it just won't load the downloads folder. The best I can hope for, sometimes I can do this. I can get into one of these subfolders and I can start moving them, and eventually I'll move whatever was pissing it off. Let's see, new folder. So I just have to start moving crap out of here. But see, now it tried to load the main folder, which killed it. So I have to start all over again. I have to do this. Oh, on this one. What I have to do is I have to click a bunch of these so that as I undo click each of these, it goes to the next one in line and not. Why'd you do that? I didn't ask you to do that. Nope. 5. There it is. So when I do this, it goes back to the fucking downloads folder. It's not supposed to do that. Which crashes it again. It's so fucking annoying. And I have no idea why Windows does that. It's just every now and then there's something with a certain file name or whatever in the downloads folder, and it won't let me. And I don't think I can select. Yeah, see, I can't select multiple items here. Can I put this in here? Yes, I can. What happens if I do this? Ah, that works. I just have to hope that one of these files will do it. I can empty out the downloads folder. Oh, for Christ's sake, stop doing that. No. Oh, that did it. Got it. It now lets me in. Whatever one of those files was the sticky wiki that wouldn't let it work. So now I just got to get all this out of here before it throws another hissy fit. And then get that out of here. There. Now the downloads folder is safe again. I have no idea why it does that. Don't ask me. Ask Microsoft. So now we take Strong Rocket, bring that into here. What I have to do is go to edit, place surface on bed. I pick that surface there. Now it's sitting flat on the bed. Does it tell me how much it rotated it? No, it doesn't, because it resets the goddamn values to 0. So I have no idea what the rotation value was. So So I can't just go into Tinkercad and do that rotation. I have to re-import this model. So File, Export Models, Binary STL, download, wrong rocket, yes. No, just go away and stop bothering me. Now I can import that model back into Tinkercad. And it'll be rotated correctly. There we go. Now I have a, except it's glitching. I hate when it does that. See how there's slight imperfections? And there doesn't appear to be anything I can do about those. They don't really print. They're too fine to print. Wait a minute, is that? Why is that showing up as a separate surface? That isn't floating in the air, is it? Huh? Something's weird. Let me try simplifying it a little bit. Yeah. Next. Whatever. Just do it. Just shut up and go away. Like, whatever, go away. Urgh. Okay. How's it look? Looks fine here. So it's something during the import process. Let's go simplify model. Let's go high. Let's go apply. Let's go to fix by Windows. Okay. No errors detected. Now let's export. Replace that one. Yes. Now let's see if I can import it without any glitches. Import, choose, wrong rocket. Nice. Clean. Yeah, no glitches. Good. Good. Okay. So this is the tube. This is this. Now we have to put in all of our reinforcements. Okay. So let's do it. We're just going to do a standard set of reinforcements. 0.02. We're going to make it roughly the same angle as the rocket. Slightly indented. We will do roughly that. Let's go right there. We are sticking out the other side. Now what we do, we do this. Okay. We take this, Control D, make it a hole, cut it out of this. Then we turn this into a hole. Okay. That'll be our cut pattern. Control D. Let's do that. Yeah. Hey Mike, how are you doing? I can move it. I'll just move the whole pattern. No, that last one's not needed. Get rid of that last one. We take the whole group. Had no internet for a while. The lightning storm that came through when I was in Pueblo fried all of my network equipment. The UPS, the router, the modem, everything. Juiced it all. Yeah, $500 in equipment. Poof. More than that. The modem was 160, the router was 300, and the UPS was almost 200. It was like 170. So that's like what, 470, almost $600 gone. Yippee-ki-yay! This needs to be lengthened. This one is too short. Okay. Install what? They're not going to replace my own equipment. Oh no, I bought my own modem because otherwise they charge you $7 a month to rent one. I'm like, no thanks. I mean, that doesn't mean I have to deal with it when shit like this happens, but it's still cheaper than renting it from them. I can call and ask them, but I doubt it. This is a co-op out here. And so I doubt they're going to cover that. And they'll probably claim it was exactly what I think it was, a lightning strike. And the surge was strong enough that it made it past the UPS. I thought maybe it came in through the cable line, but I don't think so because if it came in through the cable line, it wouldn't have fried the router. It had just got the modem. It wouldn't have got the router and the UPS. So it had to come in through the UPS. Yeah, I'll ask them, but they most likely have an act of God clause. And, you know, a lightning strike would be an act of God, you know, act of nature, whatever you want to call it. But I'll ask them. Worst they can do is say no. Okay. That looks good. And we're going to have 3 on the bottom. I'll ask them, but I doubt it. They're not exactly the greatest people for that around here. Let's see. So I could probably get away with 0.3 millimeter layers with this. So let's make this 0.9. And then cover the bottom. Okay, so we take these units here. Thankfully, it didn't fry any of the other stuff. I am making a larger scale version of my modular rocket. So, we made this tube last time with this new yin-yang design for eliminating the breakpoints in the tube. And it worked fantastically. I mean, really fantastically. So, now I'm incorporating MRS structure into it. So, modular fins. So, these slots here are to accept the fins. And so, this fin, as you can see, has that same shape. So, it'll integrate with the rocket. And this way, you can replace the fins. It's modular. And I am now adding the ribbing structure for my complex vase mode. This is how I do that. And now what I need to do is I need to shift this way, 0.75, so that when I join it with this, it will cut the appropriate shape and make it conformal to the fin. I then make this hollow and join it with the fin. And there. We now have a reinforced vase mode fin structure to print the rocket with. Not bad. So now that fin will print in vase mode. This will print in vase mode. And theoretically, I may have to scale this just slightly because the tolerances. So there's one piece for the inside and one piece for the outside. So the cut tool for this is a little bit bigger than this. And that's so there's a tolerance. If I made it exactly the right size, this would never fit inside. So the hole has to be a little bit bigger to cover the tolerances. When I scale this up 200%, I'm also doubling the tolerances. And so the tolerances might be too loose. I'll have to print it and try it. The good news is I won't have to reprint this. I'll just have to scale this. So I might have to make this like 1% larger just to eat up a little bit of those tolerances. Or maybe I won't have to. We'll see. So now what I'll do is I will print one of these, and make sure they mate correctly. I want the fin to have just enough slop that I can slide it in there, but I want it to actually be a little bit difficult to slide in there because this is going to be for a higher power rocket. This is going to be for HIJK motors, which means you really, really do not want this fin doing this. It's just going to rip it the fuck off. you hit 900 miles an hour, 1100 miles an hour with your fin doing this, and it's gone. It's gonna be and pieces all over the sky. I was actually thinking about making a double connection. So having two of these side by side, but figuring out how to actually mate that with this would be really difficult. So I'm going to try to do it with one first and see if that works. I'm hoping the well, several things I did here. What I might need to do is I might need to put a rib from here to here just to stiffen up this section a little bit. Because if this flexes too much, it's going to allow that fin to wobble back and forth. And I might also need to put a rib inside of here. You know, have a little opening here and have little ribs come out just to add a little bit of stiffness to this. I don't know if that's going to be necessary. So start with the simplest design, which is this, and then see if I need to go more complex than that. It might be strong enough. We'll see. My instincts are really telling me I might need to double pole this. So basically, instead of having an oval hole like this, just have a simple circular hole and have two of them next to each other. And then this part here will have two of these next to each other. This way, instead of having a single hole with a single pin coming through, I would instead have two holes with two pins coming through. And now that would make it bistable. It would be less likely to do this. Because if you have a single hole with a fin like this, that if there's too much slop in that fin, if that's not stiff enough, the fin's going to want to do this inside the hole. And it might not seem like much, but at Mach 2, that little bit of oscillation at 30,000 times a second, probably when it gets to about 1,000 times a second, that fin is going to depart the airframe. And you'll have confetti. So that needs to be stiff enough. My H&I power, this will probably be enough. But JK power, I suspect it's not going to be strong enough. I think I'm going to have to go with a double pole setup with two pins on the fin, so that the one pushes against the other like this. With one, you can do this, but with two, you can't. If this one tries to rotate, this one stops it, and vice versa. So this is much more stable than this. But I'm going to try the easy way first, since it's not going to take much plastic. It's only going to take 300 grams of plastic to test it. And but my gut tells me it's going to be too much play. Now, the other thing I could do, it would be really hard to figure out how to do it, but I can't use that one. This might be even harder to do, but I would only have to do it one time. Is that see, oh, that's a lot of play. Yeah, that's a lot of, I didn't realize the play was that much. That's a ton of play. Yeah, that's way more play than I was expecting. I mean, it might be as simple as just doing this. Or maybe it's not as much play as I thought. That might not be play. That might be... No, that's definitely play. Yeah, that's definitely slop in there. Yeah, I think that's gonna be too much. I'll print it, try it. Stiffening up the joint might be enough, like adding a rib here to here, here to here, and then maybe a circular, a curved rib here to here, and here to here. Might be enough to stiffen this up. But my gut tells me this is too sloppy. Now these are tiny distances we're talking about here, but still, this is less than a millimeter. But again, something rockets tend to do is build up frequency vibrations, harmonics. So what'll happen is that fin will dance a little bit. Can you guys even see what I'm showing you? Nope. This here. That looks like it might be way too much slop. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But my instincts tell me that's too much. Interesting. I'll print it. I'll try it. For lower power, like you want to put it up on a D, E, or F engine, that'd be no problem. But you start, I want to punch this thing up on a 54 millimeter motor if somebody has the balls to do it, because you might never see it again. But that's a lot of juice. Yeah, I gotta think about that. I'm probably gonna have to double pole it, double fist that joint. I don't think it's going to be enough. Well, what's gonna happen is I don't have an example I can make it easy to show, but you got a ball joint like this, and you have this inside that joint. This is gonna want to do this, and now of course I have that complicated shape to help stop that, but that doesn't stop it. That just reduces it. It dampens it. But when you get this large, and you have a rocket doing, 1.5 Mach 2, you stick a 54 millimeter L1100 inside of this 3-inch diameter rocket, it's gonna fucking scoot. It's gonna move, and if that fin moves to the side, that's going to cause the drag to shift, and then the fin's going to move back, and then it's going to move back, and that's going to get faster and faster and faster until you're going, and you get fast enough with enough flex, the fin will simply leave. It'll be like Jello. It'll look like it turned to liquid momentarily. If it doesn't tear itself into a million pieces, the fins will simply depart, and then you have confetti. So instead of having one hole with the fin locking into that hole, instead you have two. And now they can't rock. Because that's what you have to dampen out. I'm not worried about the front to back force. That's just drag. It's linear. It's continuous. It's constant. What you got to avoid is flutter. You got to avoid that back and forth force. Now there's two ways I can do that. I can either well, I could make it square. I could make it less round, more square. And so now you'd have flat faces hitting each other. You'd be far, far less likely to run into that problem. I could double pole it. Or I could have... The problem is this requires incredible tolerances. And if the tolerances aren't right, it won't work. See how this shape here is the same as this shape here? I could have this be a fillet and come out to here, for example. And now so instead of having, this shape coming out of the rocket, I'd have something more like this. And now when the rocket tried to rock, that face would be touching that face. And so you'd be far, but the problem is now this tolerance needs to be really tight. If this tolerance is sloppy, it'll still vibrate and it'll look like shit. Which means the tolerances would have to be real tight, at least for that surface. That one surface, the tolerance would have to be real snug. Because that's where you'd get your damping from. I'm going to print that, see what happens. Plus, printing it, holding it in my hands will give me an idea of what I'm looking at and what I'm dealing with. And I'm probably going to do the work to double pole it. Just because double polling would just fix so many of the problems. Use circles instead of ovals. That'll allow me to bring it closer together and have a more compact double pole. Basically, I'd do something like this. Let's get you out of here. Basically, I would do something like this. And let's see. Now let's get rid of this. 5 millimeters looks about right. And let's make this. It's going to be 0.4, so that means it's going to be 0.8. 0.8. 204, 204. Let's make this 8. That would be something like this and this. Join this way and this way. That would be something more like this. Like this. So that would be something more like this. And you'd have one of these here and one of these here, like this. These two would join together and line them up with this, center on this. So instead of having a single hole like this, you'd have two holes taking almost the same space. So it would look more like let's go back. Thunderstorm coming through again. I want to save this, so Control D. Let's save you over here, out of the way. Now we take this, separate it, and now we get rid of this. So now it'd be like this. So this would be our connection, and then our fin would be the part out here. So if we took this, separated it, we got rid of this, we got rid of this, we got rid of this. And then we brought the fin up like this. And what we would do is we would make this fin, well, these, what we'd likely want to do is angle them inward. Let's see, split them. Let's see, let's go 15 degrees. 15 degrees, like that. Bring them closer, more more like that. Join. Okay, take this and center it on this. Then we take this and we would bring it in more like this. And it'd be something like that. And we'd fatten those fins up a bit. Something more like that. Align, center on this. There we go. Yeah, looking snazzy. And then we take this, bring it in here more like this. And how big is this? 80. So we take this, sides, 80 by 80, 205. Not what I asked you to do. Take this and this, center on this like that, and then this would cut this like that. This would have to be scaled, of course. I have not done that yet. But let's duplicate this, Control D, and then change it to color, join it with this, join. Okay, there. Now we'd have to clean this up. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. We would have something like this. Just like that. And then we'd come down here, put our box down here to clean up this edge, since that's how we're going to slice it. We take this, this, and this, and join it. There. So now we have a fin with a double fish joint. Now this is the tricky part. I have to scale this. And I have to scale this so carefully. So I have to shift, select this, select this. Let's call it 201, 202. Not enough. 204. Okay. 204. Join these together. Then join them with this. There. Now the question is that channel wide enough? But now what would happen is this can fit into this, like that. And that's how I would join them together. That would eliminate that problem of them not fitting together right. I might want to make these arms wider. These might be too narrow. They might tear, even though that's 4 strands of filament. I don't think it would. But I might want to make those wider, but that would basically be how this would fit. Now I might have to cut away a little bit from here because as you can see, this is a pretty tight tolerance here. That's a pretty tight fit right there. So I might have to gap this fin out just a tiny bit more. But that's the idea. That's the basic gist of how that would work. That would get me my stability. That would eliminate that side to side that these things would really want to do badly. I might make those circles bigger. There's enough space there to make them bigger. I would do the same mushroom connection to the inside like I did the other ones. I can do this little base right here. I'll do that same thing to here. Basically a line would come out and it would splooge out here. Line, splooge, and that would give me my shock absorption and my stability while also increasing the wall thickness. I might make this thicker, but you get the idea. This double fisted attachment point would be far more stable for a high power rocket. Something that could see frequencies in the 4 and 5 digits. Okay. Oh, that got moved somehow. Let's see. Let's get it back where it belongs. Here and here. Now I can take this and rotate it. And right there. That would get me my inside-outside connection, since this is the outside. I would have to do something like that. Now there's a couple things I could do to make this a little easier. I could chamfer these edges just a tiny bit. Chamfer these edges just a tiny bit. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have ringing. And that ringing is going to make that a bitch. Doing that that's different things I would do for cleanup. Let's get this out of here. Let's see here. Yeah, I would just put a couple squares in here to clean these edges up. Make this rounded a little bit. Yeah, because this edge would be okay. Just cut that a little bit. This edge is going to ring badly, and that's going to make it not fit. So these 4 points right here would have to be chamfered to so that ringing doesn't make them too large and the part doesn't fit. Let's see, what else do I want to do? That's the basic idea. Scale that up a little bit, make it a little larger. Yeah, I think that would be the optimal way to handle that. Yeah, I could work it. I could work that. The only problem is, man, if those tolerances aren't right, that part ain't going in. Or if you get it in and it's never coming out. Yeah, I think I definitely need to make that wider. I might even just... Oh, you know something? I might just cut this entire section out and fill this in. That might be even better. There really is no reason to have this. This is extra complexity that's not needed. Yeah, definitely. This is going to go away. the 2 dumbbells will be enough to give me my stability. I don't need this center part here. And to prevent, cut it off like right here. And then have a rib come down the middle here for strength. Yeah, this is not needed. This, and that would make this a whole lot stronger, because now that would be the width here. Yeah, that's stupid to try to but that does give it strength, though. That does give it actually pretty decent strength. And I only have to print 20 millimeters to figure it out. 10 millimeters. To get an idea if it's going to fit or not. Yeah. Okay. Yep, that's the line I'm going to go down. I'll first, before I get overcomplicated, I'll print this and print this. I can print Control D. I can just do could just do this. I can print this little test segment right there. And then print this 10 millimeters of it. And see if that fits in there. See how much slop there is. See how much scaling I might need to do to take out the slop. And see if it's usable. Same thing when I do this. Cut a little test bite out of here and play with the fit. I could also just go square. Square is never quite as strong, though. It just never is. There are other ways I could make it strong, though. Chamfering would be really easy. I could try a couple of different methods, too. See which one works the best. I keep thinking that's weak. Hey, red light. I keep thinking that's weak, but each of these is 2 filament strands of 0.4 millimeter. That's not weak. That's pretty damn strong, actually. Yep, I finally got all the equipment replaced, and best I can. It's cheap stuff, but it seems to be working, so I'm not complaining. The house tried to kill me again. The water heater under the kitchen sink caught on fire. It was actually arcing. Yeah, that was almost 4 days of hacking my guts up from that smoke inhalation as the fucking water heater tried to murder us. Ugh. And Michelle almost died. She's in the hospital. Fun, fun, fun. Am I on the right screen for you guys? No, I'm not. You guys can't even see what I'm doing because I'm an idiot. No, I got one. I got one for $20. It was an open box cable modem for $20. And since I'm on the Internet Essentials plan, I don't need the really, the high end DOSIS 3.1 modem, since I don't have those kind of speeds. So I found a modem for, what was it, $27 or something like that, and I found a router for like just under 40. And I had to make sure I got a router that has separate 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz SSIDs, so that as long as I name the SSIDs correctly, all of my IoT stuff just automatically reconnects. And normally I have 2 modems for just this eventuality, but that modem was the spare. When the first one died a few years ago, just from age. That modem was like 10 years old. And so I implemented the backup modem, and that one, you got fried. So yeah, this double, I just don't like this. That seems problematic, but I think I can get rid of this altogether. At least get rid of it to, say, here. Get rid of this chunk right here. That'll allow me to beef up this chunk right here. Because you want the parts to be similar in strength. With this part just being this, even though I think it's strong enough, it's flexible. And when this tries to flex, it's going to push on this part. And that is single wall right there. It might even be worth putting a cut right in here and have that come loop back on itself. So come out here, come around, and then come back. That would be triple wall, though. That would be way more than I need. This worked great. This yin-yang hourglass configuration. It is so freaking strong. Man, is it strong. No. Now I want to see if there's a way I can integrate threads into this without messing up the pattern. I'm wondering if it's as easy as just put the threads in. It's not quite that easy. I bet. That doesn't have air conditioning? Those have air conditioning, don't they? Oh, I guess on some days it's just not enough. Of course, the easy solution is just glue the fins on. But that's no fun. Half the fun of doing this crap is figuring this stuff out. This is what makes it fun. Yeah, 160 can't keep up, especially since half of it's glass, so it's like a greenhouse. Yippee ki yay! What can I do to keep it double fisted, but also reinforce that a bit? This is strong enough. My concern is this part. Think about it. How could I beef that up without getting too crazy? I like the circles because alignment's not an issue. Ovals, if you're off by a degree, you're never going to get them together again. It's not going to work if you're not precise. I gotta think about that. Guess I need to just print it and see how it comes out. See whether it's actually, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe this will be plenty strong. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this merged. Actually, I might as well print with one of these as well and do them both in the same model. So let's export this. And now I also need to deal with this. So Control D. Let's just chop it up a little bit. Okay. Control D that. Raise you up a bit. Bring you over. Let's get it close. That's relatively close. There we go. Just a little sample. There. So now I can print out that little sample, print out this little sample. Let's make that bigger. Yeah. There. So export that. export this. Need to drop this. Lay surface on bed. There we go. Now they're all sitting properly. We can make this 20 millimeters tall. Not a little bigger. 50. There we go. So now I can print a sample of the tube, a sample of this connection method here. I know that's not going to work. That needs chamfering. I'm going to have to fix that. And then a sample of this one to fit in here. I can print that out, test it, see how strong it is, see how it fits, see how it behaves. I love the simplicity of this one, but my gut tells me that I need to beef these up a little bit here and get rid of this chunk right here. Just get rid of that altogether. It won't be that hard to get rid of that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. This is the... Oh, no, wrong printer. Let's go with the 3 Pro. Yes. One 0.4. I think I can get away with 0.3. Yeah. Okay. Rename tube. Rename MRS. Rename double. Okay. Tube. Select models. Print just the tube. Let's make this one the MRS. And that's going to have 3 bottom layers. This is turned off. Why is this turned off? Let's go 6. And this is for double. There. Tube, MRS, and double. So I can print all 3 from this. This will be my test. Tube, test. Okay. I gotta go get the memory card reader. It's still out in the car. I never brought it back in. Well, actually, I probably have another one in here. But I think all my little micro SD cards are out there too. Here's my little scale. Really? I don't have another one in here? Huh. Little micro SD card. I don't have a reader? Yeah. There's one. I knew I had one somewhere. And I got an SD slot available over here. Let's just delete all this. Wait a minute. No, let's not delete all that. Might actually need that. Okay. Tube, prepare to print. That looks good. That's a weird starting point. Why would it jump over to there? Why wouldn't it go to here? Weirdo. SP drive, tube. Oh, is that the right? Do I have the right settings for temperature? No, I don't. 240. Heated bed. 80. And cooling 25% at layer 3. Update profile. I cannot believe how'd that get reset? I haven't printed in PLA in a year. %, at layer 3. I should have known something was up when I did that speed, when the speed was reset. 240, 80, cooling 25%, layer 3. Save. I don't know if that worked. Yeah, it should have. Okay. Print. MRS. hate when it starts in corners. Corners always fail when you start in corners. I hate that. And double. Huh, it's not even. Who cares? Double. That should be pretty strong. I think this line needs to be moved out a little bit, but we'll see. Okay. We are set to print. All right, I'm gonna start printing samples and see how it works. But overall, I think I'm gonna go with a modified version of this one. I'm going to fatten up these circles, fatten up this, chamfer this, get rid of this, beef it up a bit, and go from there. Well, who knows? Maybe this one will be strong enough. Why would you do that? Why does it always do funky shit like that? My gut tells me this is going to vibrate. And this is going to go. And then the rocket's going to re-kit itself in midair. I think I'm going to need something like this. We shall see. Alrighty, guys. That's it. I'm going to skedaddle. I want to get these test prints going. We'll see how well that works. I think a variation on the double cherry is going to be the way to go. The two, I think that's going to be the way to go. And go from there. See how it likes it. All right. Let's hope for a really, really, really boring coming week. I need just nothing to happen. Just boring. Just too much in the last 10 days. It's just too goddamn much. So, I'll see you guys later.